Shut up and sit down.
Hello, Internet people! It is I, Draven Dresden, back once again from the Insane Asylum, I suppose, is where I've been. Also known as the hospital. Not for me. Everyone's okay, don't worry. Yeah, so it's been an interesting time. But anyway, let's go ahead and get straight into the show. I had a witty play on words, and I don't have the energy to put into it. I'm sorry, I apologize. So we'll just go ahead and get straight into the show. With me this week, yet again, the hunter who can't feed his pet, Galv. How you
Hello,
doing?
everybody. Good. Fun times at the old Galv household. Had a couple of sick kiddos on their spring break here, but the fun side of that is today, my 7 and 9-year-old played Star Wars Trivial Pursuit circa 1995, which means only episodes 4, 5, and 6 with the updates from the special edition. So that was a blast. Kicking it in Raid. I got a new fun thing in the mail that I ordered. So some of you may recognize one of these things here. It is fabulous keychain work from Silverbolt. Jumped on the End tour bus last week. That was a lot of fun. Gosh, just a lot of stuff going on. And in the last 2 days, I was watching Cuddles stream and just was so inspired I had to suck it up and grab Sea of Thieves for free for 14 days with the free trial Xbox Pass. So I was rolling on the high seas with Cuddles last night, and then Sushi Boy Salmon, who's another streamer, and we were just blowing people up and looting treasure. So kind of another different flavor of fun. But yeah, lots of fun stuff going on this week. How's it with you?
Oh, like I said, it's been one of those weeks where every time I think, hey, I'm going to have a free minute to work on Project A or B or all the way, I don't know how many I've got going at this point. But that super secret thing that I had a couple weeks ago, I have put no work into it since because I have not had any time to do so.
Totally derailed, huh?
So it's going to be slightly delayed a little longer than I was hoping. I'm still planning on hopefully getting it out by next month. Maybe May.
Okay.
So it's still a work in progress. I'm still getting there, but I've got a couple ideas. I just got to find video to match the script for what I have. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I spent most of my day with my relatives. They got sent to the hospital because they were having complications from a surgery. They're okay. It was just more of the, make sure kind of hospital visit, but it was an all-day venture.
Aw, kitty.
Yeah, so.
That reminds me of Scarlett. That's her line.
Aw, kitty.
Aw, kitty.
Actually, her line was more, kitty, get down!
Or hey,
Stop
I got a homeless person story today.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll have to contact her, see if she's got any more. Well, no, she wouldn't because she's in a different area. Darn it.
You never know.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah. So, any other generals?
Maybe a commander or a commodore. I don't know about any generals.
What about a private, a sergeant, or maybe a colonel?
Was there a lead pipe involved?
Not quite, but there could be something new piped in the BattleNet.
Whatever do you mean?
there may be an invasion on the Battle.net app of this popular game, COD of Duty. Wait, Call of Duty. Yes, I just don't play it much.
Yeah, I don't play it at all. I've seen people play it. I'm gonna go with no thanks.
It's got some things I liked. I like playing some of the earlier versions, but its competitor Battlefield is the one I was more interested in back when it was Battlefield 1942. Just as far as shooters go, Call of Duty wasn't my favorite, but it's got a massive following, so it's hard to knock it. It's definitely the flavor for some people.
I've only ever really gotten into one shooter, and that's because while there is a reload feature, there is not a limited ammo feature. So thank you, Overwatch.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not good at shooters. That comes as no surprise. I'm not a fan of guns in general, and that's completely unrelated, but not a fan of most shooters. Overwatch is the first one that I've actually gotten into. I don't know if it's just cartoony enough or something. I don't know, but the lack of limited ammo definitely helped.
There was always that dramatic moment. So let's say I think it was Call of Duty, when you're shooting the standard, the circa 1942 era, World War II Call of Duty, where you're shooting the standard rifle, and when you get to the end of the magazine or the end of the clip that you've loaded, it has that extra ka-ping, like ka-pow, and then the next one loads ka-pow, ka-pow, the ping ammo, and everyone can hear it. And so that's when your enemies swarm you and kill you. So terrifying little noises.
Oh yeah.
So the premise being that Blizzard is expanding its Activision is expanding its use of the Blizzard app, which has a large audience, especially with Destiny 2 already incorporated. So
my issue here, I got over having Destiny on there. I was like, okay, fine, one game, it's fine, whatever, as long as I don't ever see Call of Duty.
I remember you saying that. At least it's in its own bucket. Activision is relatively bottom of the launcher.
Well, I mean, you can change where stuff goes. I haven't tried to move Destiny up. Okay, yeah, you can't. But the Blizzard ones you can put in your own order, at least.
Yep.
So like I said, I was just like, as long as it's not Call of Duty, I don't want to see Call of Duty. In my head, I'm thinking, how long is it going to be before I have to deal with Call of Duty?
It's a low barrier to entry, but so one thing that the question is, if everything's going to be showing up on here, is there going to be a global currency that's related to Call of Duty, like Destiny 2 with the Blizzard Cash, or is there any threat of Call of Duty bouncing around the gold economy with tokens and stuff?
Some people are saying it'll have a very negligible on the WoW token, a negligible effect on the WoW token. I think what's going to happen is Blizzard will make the official statement, because right now it's not an official statement, it's more of a someone off to the side data mine something. Blizzard has not publicly stated, hey, Call of Duty launcher. When that happens, and Blizzard says, oh, by the way, Call of Duty is going on the Blizzard app, this is what you can expect, blah, 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 blah. WoW token price is going to jump probably about 45k. And then people were like, no, we're good. Because we got Destiny, we got Overwatch. So the token price is going to come back down. But it'll come down less than it went up. So it is going to go up probably by about 5k from where it is, unless they announce something else. But I don't know that there's a lot of crossover between a lot of WoW people and the Call of Duty people. They seem like they're Bubble A, Bubble B with very little overlap.
Alessandra. Hey, Des, you're actually here. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're feeling well. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that probably play both more, just not us. Like there's a lot more people that have shockingly more time on their hands than we do that may play both. But the thing is, the token's a fiat currency. There's no hard pegging. Wink, wink. There's no pegging of this currency, as it were, to anything that's tangible. So Blizzard controls the formula that calculates the value.
Well, okay, so yes, but Blizzard set the starting price at, I think it was like a 20K or something like that, way back in the day. Whatever they set it at, it doesn't matter. And now it's up to what it is. Other, like Europe is higher, China is astronomical compared to. But Blizzard, at this point, all they have is the formula for this many versus how many people are wanting. That's it. Like, if there's 10 people more that want to buy than there are available, then the price goes up by this much. They're not actually controlling the price outside of that. It's all supply and demand at this point. So as long as people are buying it for the $20 to sell it to people for the WoW gold, if it stays the same, like 1-to-1, the price doesn't change. If it's one person extra wants one than what's out there available, price goes up because there's more demand than.
We haven't. I don't know because I haven't seen the evidence of capping yet, Howland.
Yeah,
it's a really good question.
Token prices are capped, maybe. I don't think they are. They might be capped, but I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be, something we're going to see anytime soon because we have seen 221K, 223K for a little bit. Europe is over 230K on average. So I would imagine if they're... Go ahead.
I was going to say, without understanding the secret recipe to their Colonel Sanders chicken, I mean, it's impossible to understand. There's no transparency. So, I mean, we're basing off of previous behavior that it operates in a certain way, but there's no guarantee that they won't change any of those parameters or tweak it.
Yeah. And if I was Blizzard, if someone asked me, hey, is there a cap on how high this can go? I would say no, even if there is.
Yeah.
Just because if it ever does hit that cap, that's when you're going to get the influx of sell them now.
Right.
I'm buying $20 for 500K gold, making the numbers up. But it's $20 to buy a token. So $20 for 500K gold. Here's $100, Blizzard. Thank you for my my however many millions of gold that is.
It's there's people that have got probably entire inventories of tokens in their banks.
You can only have so many. They did put a cap on how many you can have.
Oh,
I believe it's
okay.
12 you can have in your bags on your account.
So a year's subscription, roughly.
Yeah. So you could get 12. Right. But if we ever got to a cap that we knew was a cap, like, oh, it's at 500K, and again, I'm using 500K as an example. Every single one of those, we're like, well, it can't be any more than that, ever. Unload all of them, price drops.
Then buy back.
Well, you can't buy your own.
No, but you can buy back into the... Yeah. If the price on the tokens drops, then you can buy back in.
Yeah. But if you sell it after the price drop, you still get the 500K. So that would be when you would sell. Is, oh, here's my 12 tokens that I purchased over the years that I just never sold because I was waiting to see if there was a cap. We finally found out there is a cap. We reached the cap. I sold all of them. And by the time I got all my money, they were down to 50 gold again, or 50K gold. I'm going to buy all of them again, wait till the cap goes way back up. And I mean, there are ways around it, but like I said, if I was Blizzard, I would say there is no cap, even if there is. just for that reason.
Yeah.
The huge differentials.
But I mean, that's probably the most exciting news about Call of Duty possibly hitting
I mean,
the Blizz launcher.
In my eyes, that is the biggest thing for Call of Duty. Is it's on the Blizzard launcher now. I still don't care about Call of Duty.
No, but hey, what about the coin prices?
Yeah, that's the part that I care about, because that's how I've been paying for my WoW subscription, is with coin.
Really, I wonder if you'll be able to pay for your WoW subscription with Nintendo coin.
I doubt that, but I see where you're going.
Do you? What's the clue?
You said the word Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the last couple weeks we mentioned Diablo 3 on the Switch? ? Well, there's a few stores in the UK that literally put up boxes for Diablo 3 on the Switch.
It's me, Mario.
I would kind of want to. I wonder, could they put like skins in Switch? So you, instead of playing as the barbarian, you play as Mario.
I want to see like them playing Smash Bros. And like Diablo rips his way out of Kirby and starts just slashing like Mario's soul up. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. So that's the big Diablo news that we've covered multiple times on the Switch. All signs point to yes, according to my Magic 8 Ball and the websites that said, hey, this store in the UK is selling pre-orders.
It's I know some people that are really excited about this because the Switch platform has been pretty brilliant so far, and this is one more way they're incorporating a bunch of slightly older games onto a brand new vehicle. Stuff that people like, and stuff that people like on the fly. So that's a good thing. I think that, I mean, this is the second time that I can think of in the last decade plus that Blizzard has even had a game on a different platform other than their own PC. Was it StarCraft?
I know one of the Diablos was on PlayStation, I think it was.
And I'm not counting Hearthstone because
mobile.
Hearthstone is cross-platform.
Yeah.
It's
well,
the
it
same
didn't start
collection
that way. The On the Phone came out later.
Right. But it was the same collection, so it was the same.
It was,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? It was like,
it's shared. All your stuff is shared
right.
between the computer and the phone. Overwatch is on multiple platforms.
Again, that's not shared though, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not. And you can only fight against similar platforms. So if you're on PlayStation, you can't fight against computer people.
All right. So my initial premise was less groundbreaking than this. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
That's really not that surprising. I've listened to you talk multiple times. For those of you who don't realize,
that's a fail on my part then. Yeah.
For those of you who don't realize it, this guy Galv is actually one of the main raid leaders of the raid team I'm on, the one raid team I'm on. And the running joke is he still talking? Because we all muted him. That's one of the running jokes at this point. At his expense. Yeah. StarCraft news. Here's what's going on with StarCraft right now.
All right. Wait. There's a big blank next to your show notes for StarCraft.
Yeah. There's a tournament going on. They're at the Final Four, I believe. And
Chat Howland, thank you.
Yes,
thank you. Appreciate that.
Howland from chat, also a member of the raid team, watches the stream with Galv muted. So basically, mouse over the mute button. Whenever Galv's mouth moves, mute, and when it stops, unmute. So yeah, there's a tournament going on. I watched a bit of it the other night because I actually like.
Don't make me hate you. Oh, Alessandra, I didn't see anything too epic or exciting going on.
Yeah,
I might have missed it.
I mean, there's always a tournament going on, so it's hard to be like, oh yay, new StarCraft tournament. If you're into StarCraft, you know what's going on. TESPA is actually going on right now for StarCraft, so
Yeah, I mean, there's the Challenger series where you can try to play in. That's new. So, but I mean, these are all the things that normally feed to the tournaments. There's a possibility of a balance update where they're going to alter Zerg early game mechanics, but that's normal. That's normal tweaking meta stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a big thing where it's like, holy crap, no one plays Zerg anymore because they killed it, that makes it newsworthy. But if it's just, they just changed this one thing, so it makes it harder to...
So, I'm not downplaying what Alessandra's saying. She is correct. There is a lot of StarCraft stuff going on volume-wise. There's none of it's earth-shattering. It's a thriving community of a lot of people playing in a lot of tournament feeder formats that are, hitting some of the top stages right now in some of the tournaments. So, nothing wrong with it.
If you're a fan of StarCraft, there's lots of stuff out there. We're not trying to downplay it. It's just one of those things. That,
that's it. Excellent observation. Excellent observation.
Yeah, it is what it is.
On the other hand, in NFL style news, because I mean, StarCraft is more like baseball plus basketball put together. There's 1,000 matches happening a year that are of relative importance. But the new shiniest thing going on is got to be the Overwatch League, which is why they're more. It's more significant story, and they're pushing it harder, so it's got more eyeballs.
Yeah.
But next on the
list is not actually Overwatch. However, it does have reminiscence of last week's headline news of someone getting suspended.
Yeah, XQC this week decided he would get suspended. Oh, wait, not from Heroes. That's a different player. This is Airho.
Yeah, basically the XQC of Heroes. The only difference is instead of getting suspended for like a couple games, and then the team saying, no, you're out the rest of the stage.
Yeah,
the HGC looked at Airho and said, no, you're done for the entire year.
Woo. So let's read this. Conduct of players, coaches, managed behavior, anti-harassment. Basically, all of those things that they're trying to wipe out of the toxic community stuff. And
this player was toxic. Airho, he was removed from the league.
Deleted his credentials.
And you didn't even get my play on words. Dang it.
Deleted from... got you. Deleted.
No.
I got you.
No, the word is actually Airgo, but I said Airho because that's his name.
Oh. I was talking about when people get killed off in Heroes. My bad.
Yeah.
They got deleted.
Yep, so he's gone for the rest of the year. He'll more than likely be back next year if someone wants to pick him up, but...
he's too good to not get picked up.
It's not even that. It's a year. That gives enough time to, recovery or people to forget or whatever. Whereas the XQC was like, oh, you're gone for a couple weeks. Well, we still remember you. And you're still streaming. And you're still a douche.
Gently now. Gently. Yeah. There's a couple other nuggets here. Looks like the return of Heroes of the Dorm.
You got to say it right. You got to go all enthusiastic with it. Try again.
Oh yeah, Heroes of the Dorm returns.
There you go. And it's not on Facebook. It's already
out.
out.
For the Torrent ETC.
Yeah. It's not on Facebook, so it's already better than it was when it was.
What platform is it going to be on?
It's going to be on Twitch when it's on. But it's not going to be... They're not going to show every single match, every single round. They're not probably going to have everything until later on.
It's coming to the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, though, so it's going to be should be the same studio, yeah?
Yeah, it's basically the Overwatch studio. That's where they're going to be playing.
You know, something that just occurred to me, and maybe I'm slower than some other people, but the Overwatch studio isn't specifically branded as the Overwatch studio when you're inside. It's just giant computer screens. So they can flash whatever they want up there. Makes it pretty easy to transition from Heroes of the Storm back to Overwatch, doesn't it?
It is the Blizzard Arena. There's a reason why it's called the Blizzard Arena, not the Overwatch Arena.
Right. I wish that had been around when I was in college. That would have been fun. And then what else is going on here?
One last thing for Heroes is if you remember every other year they did Heroes of the Storm, the bracket challenge is back.
Yes. So just like March Madness.
Pretty much, yeah. I have, in fact, already filled out my brackets. I'm obviously not going to tell you who I picked to win. I will say that I put very little effort into it outside of
filling it in.
Well, I mean, I filled it in. There were some obvious ones, like there was like a rank 1 versus a rank 80. Clearly, you're going to go with a rank 1. But
I'm sorry, I'm filling out my bracket. What were you saying?
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, a rank 64, not a rank 80.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
heroesofthedorm.com/brackets. You go there, you log in, you fill out your bracket. There's like Group A, Game 1, UCI versus Indiana. If you mouse over the little eye and you click that, you get a nice little pop-up. Win rates, average kills per game, average death per game, match record, game record, blah, blah, blah. Average game time, who they like playing the most, getting the most wins with. All that fun stuff. You take all that information, you figure out what adds up to be the best number, and then you compare it to the other team. Well, if Team A has a better combination of stuff than Team B, Team A should win, you mark Team A. And you just do that all the way through. I see
that Florida, the procrastinators, someone picks Hanzo most of the time. See, now if this was Overwatch, I'd be dreadfully like, Hanzo, man. Yeah. But it's Heroes of the Storm, so.
Yeah, he's actually good in Heroes.
Right.
But, yeah, so, some of these guys have some weird team names, but, whatever. It is what it is, right?
It's entertaining, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be called by their school name anyway, so it really doesn't make a difference. But, so go ahead and fill out your brackets. If you win, you get a prize. Galv, what is that prize?
Well, that's pretty special, though, because the prize looks like it's $1 million. Now, I can't be $1 million across the board. Without reading the detailed pieces here, I would say that let's say you have a whole bunch of people that pick the same bracket, and that bracket wins. There's a $10,000 top prize, the best performing entry, but if you get the 1 million bonus, you have to predict all of the winners. Let's see. It says, Bill, take something special to correctly pick every match in pursuit of that $1 million bonus. So it's not just the best bracket, because the best bracket gets $10,000. It's perfection.
Yeah.
1 million.
Judging from last year, I was like, there was a lot of upsets. So I took that in mind this year and ignored it. No, I have a couple upsets in there that I was like, I don't know why they're ranked lower, but the numbers seem to add up to they're the better team. So I'm just going to pick them anyway and hope.
Yeah, there's a couple in here where they're shooting matches, man. Because, I mean, you get a lucky break, someone can have a brain fart, and all of a sudden the tables have flipped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But at least, they should do more of this stuff. Anything they can do to involve their fans and community in that process is really good, especially with some extra eyeballs.
The only real issue is outside of maybe Warcraft Arena, most of the other setups aren't set up for this kind of thing. Like even regular HGC, you can't really week to week have a bracket like that. You can, this team wins over this one and stuff like that, but that gets complicated week after week,
Absolutely. It would be nice to have some of these kinds of statistics like they've got here so clearly laid out. I mean, even if they're not massive predictors of results, it's still something you can
still info
go by. Right.
Yeah. And CTR's own Mosley won the first year Heroes Dorm bracket challenge.
Nice.
I mean, okay, let's be fair. Out of all the people who entered, CTR probably had the most entries. So it was almost guaranteed to be someone in CTR that won, but, it's the fact that, hey, it's someone we kind of know.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. I'm having trouble filling out my bracket.
Well, you're not going to win anyway.
You never know. I mean, you play to win the game, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you did pick the rank 64 team over the rank 1 team, so... I did. I mean, right there, you just lost, because that's the team that might win, not the rank 64. Although, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Well, that rank 1 team, I'm taking a look at some of these stats here, Buffalo has got a pretty good win rate. So they're not a slouch. Oh my God, this bracket's twice as big as I thought it was. I'll finish this later.
Yeah.
I was almost done.
I had that same issue. I was like, I just filled out the top. Oh, there's another bottom half.
Brutal.
So whenever you guys fill this out, scroll down. Because there's more.
It's huge. But that's good, though.
Yeah. You want to know what else is huge? Not that, you perverts. Well, maybe that, too. I'm not going to say.
No one expected that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it might be huge. Who knows? But we have Hearthstone news.
Yes, we do. Nah, don't get jealous because we have Hearthstone news. A couple big things happening this week. Obviously, they're gearing up for Witchwood. So there's been a bunch of card releases. And let's see here if I can find some fun stuff here to look at. They've got some new cards out. Dre, I don't know if you've got that queued up, but
not yet, but I will.
There's one legendary face collector that they put out there, which is interesting. Possibly a spoof on Game of Thrones, as far as the graphic or the pieces go, but it employs one of the new mechanics. So the big ones so far have been like Echo and Rush. So Face Collector has an Echo ability. He costs 3, and his battle cry is add a random legendary minion to your hand. So as long as you've got the mana to do it, you can cast that over and over again. Typically, your limit's going to be 3, but because this is a neutral card, it's entirely possible that you'll run into like rogue-style decks where they may have additional mana or things like that, where they've pumped up the mana for that, like with counterfeit coins or things like that. Warpath, really interesting Echo ability. They were thinking this would be more like a Starfall or something like that, but that one there is an Echo 2 cost, deal 1 damage to all minions. So you can cast that one. If you had 10 mana, obviously you could cast that one 5 times in a turn. Merc Spark
That might not
Eagle.
be a good thing, though, because it doesn't say enemy minions. It says all minions. Right.
But you ever have, like, there's one of those guys, the Bittertide Hydra, for example, that comes out, and it's a hunter favorite, but its text was every time this minion is damaged, deal 3 damage to your hero. So, if you can ping it for 1 damage a bunch of times, you're doing 3 damage a pop to your enemy. That's pretty cool. Merc Spark Eel.
The way you just phrased it says something else, but you play the game more than me, so I will let it go.
If it's your card, you get damaged for 3 every time that minion takes damage. But it's got huge stats, so that offsets its low cost and high stats. is the risk. But then you got Merc Spark Eel. Battlecry. If your deck has only even cost cards, deal 2 damage. A lot of these themes, by the way, are even odds. So this looks like a really a lot of these cards are going to have either play even decks or play odd decks. There's going to be a lot of that, unless the meta basically tells you that it's a worthless mechanic and they throw it all to the dogs. Black Cat down there, spell damage +1, Battlecry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, draw a card. For a 3/3/3, spell damage 1, card draw, that's pretty good. Gloom Stag has got Taunt. It's obviously a Druid card. Battlecry, if it's odd only, gain 2/2. Yeah, there is a Black Cat. One of my favorite Marvel characters. And then Glitter Moth, Battlecry. If your deck has only odd cost cards, double the health of your other minions. This is yet one more priest card that is terrifying with the Inner Fire, as long as that's still out there. Because, I mean, you've already got so many double your health. Was it... you guys know what I'm talking about. They've got a bunch of low-cost cards where it doubles the health of a priest, doubles the health of a priest card, and then Inner Fire makes their attack the same as their health, and then they one turn kill you. So I wonder if there's going to be something else in there that may... we'll have to see. I don't remember what their cost is. Maybe Glitter Moth is incompatible cost-wise with those other cards. So there you go. And it's deck. So if you've already got those cards in your hand, it might still be usable. Also, for those of you guys who are playing Hearthstone, completing daily quests is currently earning you packs instead of gold. So you're getting a huge value from completing daily quests right now. That's a limited time promotion, though, so you want to make sure to knock out some daily quests. I think it's a pretty sizable reward, too, like 3 packs per daily. It's there's a lot going on. So
yeah,
see if
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been paying any attention to Hearthstone, so Gal actually told me this about 10 minutes before I hit the button to say stream. So I have no knowledge of this.
That's all right. For those of you,
it's kind of like Galvin mechanics and WoW fights.
You just have no idea until 10 minutes before we pull.
No, you have no idea. And you actually do the looking up. Me, I'm just like, what do we got to do? Okay, fine.
Yeah, Black Cat with a Mohawk carry. Enjoy. It's a, was it? Mohawk Elf. What was it? What was Mr. T's character? Night Elf Mohawk. Gotcha. Very cool. Hey. Speaking of people who you play with that you might not want to play with, there's some Overwatch news.
I'm trying to think of how you got there from what you were talking about. Talk about a Night Elf Mohawk. Speaking of things you might not want to play with.
You were complaining about playing with me, like like that's
no,
fine.
I wasn't complaining. I always enjoy seeing my name above you on the DPS meter and survivability meter.
Not necessarily survivability, but DPS.
Generally.
Doing very well.
Yeah. But yeah, Jeff Kaplan has come out with a new dev update for Overwatch. And he says...
I can't wait to see Dino Flask tear this one up.
Yeah. Well, he does it for a whole bunch of different videos at once. Jeff Kaplan's just giving him more words at this point.
Yes.
But... yeah, that'll be a fun one. In this video, Jeff Kaplan is all, so we like it when you group with your friends, but we know you can't always do that. And sometimes, hopefully not often, but sometimes those people you group with that aren't your friends are not the nicest people in the world, but you can't really report them. Well, now we have something for you, and it's avoid his teammate. But my favorite part of the whole video was near the end. If you are the person, like, okay, so let's say you're Galv and you get reported by 100,000 people for being whatever. He will get a pop-up when he logs into Overwatch after whatever the number is. He said it was just a high number, saying, "Hey, you've been avoided by a whole lot of people, you're going to have really long queue times, and you should feel bad about yourself.
Brutal. Well, so this is probably a good thing, but I could definitely see where there might be some bullying or abuse. Because, for example, that's a lot of people in your example, but let's say you want to troll or bully one person. Well, that's a lot of. You could pick your 5 guys on your team and blacklist someone pretty fast. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be 5 people. I think it's going to be a decent number of people, a few hundred people, before you get that. Hey, you're being bad. Stop it. So
it's for being a bad teammate, not being a bad player. I hope. Otherwise,
it doesn't have. I mean, it'll be for being a player that doesn't belong in that area. So being a bad player, I could see it get. I don't want to group with them. They suck. Mm-hmm. I could see that happening, but it's only good for 7 days. You can re-up it.
Oh,
so I can only ignore Gal for 7 days, and then at the end of that, before that, I can just be like, okay, keep it going for another 7. But I can only do this to 2 people. So if you find someone worse than, I'm using Galv as the example because he's right here.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you find someone worse than Galv, you have a second spot. But if you find someone worse again, do you want to risk the chance of dealing with Galv or one of these other people that you find worse?
Yep. You can
Personally,
find
I'll deal
worse.
with the other people over Galv.
Oh boy.
I'm kidding.
Brutal, man. Brutal.
But
I think it's a really good feature. I know that Howland in particular in chat is mentioning that as well. There are some players that are toxic, and they're not necessarily the kind of toxic that's going to get them banned. And it's nice to be able to at least cross a couple of them off the list.
Can you switch heroes? Because we need to counter this. Hey, can you switch heroes? We need a counter. Can you switch heroes?
Yeah.
Can you switch heroes? Hey, can you switch heroes? That one's not any good. Can you switch? Technically, they're being nice about it. They're not harassing. They're asking polite, but at the same time, maybe I can't play Winston.
Yeah, you're not very good at Winston.
No, I know I'm not good at Winston. I have probably about 10 minutes on him.
And I'm not trying to be mean either. It's just like that's a point. That's a valid point.
That's the example he used, actually. So, not Winston, but just, switching. But, and it's only avoid his teammate, so you might still get to face this person, so they can go in, like, all chat in the game and be like, haha, you suck, and you can't do nothing except ignore him. But, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to move on to other games as well, because I feel like that could be something that would be useful in other Heroes of the Storm as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we could
World of Warcraft. So that would, I mean, there's some people in World of Warcraft that you just want to cross off the list.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's the ignore feature, but you can still get grouped with them. You just don't see their chat.
Right. But, some of those players are toxic. Like, they'll intentionally sabotage teams. Yeah. Like, if someone intentionally sabotages, you can either have to vote kick them all the time. What if you could put them on the don't group me with this player?
Well, so here's the problem with that system. And since we're getting ready to talk WoW anyway, I'm okay with saying this. If this person gets kicked a lot, they have a long timer before they can get kicked.
Yeah.
So if they get kicked a ton, you can't kick them for a good 10 minutes or more. I've seen this player cannot be kicked for 34 more minutes. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
This guy can't do anything without getting kicked. And I'm like,
yep. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not the best player in the world, I'm not going to kick you. I will,
I agree.
I will. There have been dungeons where I was on my paladin which I main, and another rep paladin was in there, and he's like, "How are you doing this?" I was like, "Well, this is, I spent a good half hour after the dungeon. There's me and him sitting in that dungeon, and I was helping him. It doesn't happen often, but he was nice about it, and I knew he was having some issues, and I saw what those issues were, so I helped. I've got no issue with doing that. Again, that doesn't happen often because a lot of people don't tell me how to play my class. Okay, I'm just trying to make
I find that players typically get better if they're actually trying to actively find, oh wow, someone outdid me with this or outdid me with that. What can I learn from that?
I wasn't telling him how to. I was just like, well, you asked me a question. This is what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did see someone named Sakushu, and I just said, no, you're not getting your money. you left the game for like 8 months. It came back to me 8 times. How many times do you want me to try? 9's just too many.
Basic Wushu 2016. That joke never gets old.
No.
So, yeah,
he mentioned it in chat earlier. That's why I brought it up.
Speaking of World of Warcraft, there is some interesting news, and there's some legacy news coming out here, isn't there?
I would say both things are interesting, but for very different reasons.
Well, tee it off here.
Well, first off, we mentioned a while back there's a change to first aid coming. We weren't exactly sure what it was, but Blizzard has now officially gone on the record to say what's happening. First aid is, in fact, leaving. All those achievements you got from first aid are getting shifted over to legacy or feats of strength, depending on which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a tailor or an alchemist, you have some relearning to do.
Yes.
If you did first aid, otherwise you could just learn it. They basically, the stuff that makes sense is going to where you think it would make sense. Bandages are tailoring because it deals with cloth. Anything like poison removal, those old school potions to get rid of random poisons are now alchemy.
Some of those interest me in the sense that, making cloth bandages get you skill up points for tailoring.
I would imagine that they would if you're... How do I say this? If you're the appropriate level to get points off of it, I would imagine that they would, but with it coming for next expansion, I don't know how it's going to work.
Because it's the squish, the trade squish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean...
I would think that they're probably going to be good for less time. Like instead of, here's 75 points on this one bandage, no, here's 5 points.
I mean, depending on the level of bandage, you'd assume that they could almost level up unless it's just 1 point for a bandage. There's not a lot of room to get.
But I mean, the reason why people were kind of like on the bandages in the first place because they were using that cloth and tailoring anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or unless you were, me. I still have many, many stacks of cloth.
There's some components of the whole trade system that I've liked from other platforms better in that respect. So, like in another game I played, I won't name names, but you had to get stuff from leather people and get stuff from tailoring people because if you wanted to make a plate mail item, you needed leather padding in there, or if you wanted to make chain mail, you need cloth underneath the you'd have to cross pollinate different.
There's not many of them, at least anymore, but there used to be some engineering stuff, at least, that I remember that you had to go out and here's some stuff from blacksmith, here's some stuff from leather workers.
Right.
There's a few things, and then and it worked the other way around too. Like there was a engineering thing that leather worker needed, that weird salt. I don't know if it's in the game anymore.
Like blacksmiths made the tools for the other classes, and they were, your sewing needle was only good for 10, recipes or something. So you had to get another What's the modern metal? Ethereum.
Whatever.
Your Ethereum sewing needle would only be good for 10 recipes or whatnot.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with here's your Swiss Army knife thing that WoW has. It works on every profession,
Mm-hmm.
and you get bonuses for every profession, like the gathering stuff.
Sure.
Except for
I do like
tailoring,
that,
'cause it's a drop,
where your gathering efficiency goes up. The more copper you get, the better you get at getting copper out of the ground. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting when all this stuff goes live.
Hey, welcome to the chat, golf professional Callaway.
Hello, sir. And the other WoW interesting thing, at least interesting to me.
You wish you were them.
Oh no, because I know how long it took them. And that would also, a lot of that requires groups that would be willing to do it, and I am not in one of those.
All right, lead on, McDuff.
So it took him 6 years. I'm not played time, but game time. And he's got all 3,314 achievement points. Or achievements, not achievement points.
Not counting legacy stuff that you can't. This is just the achievement stuff, right?
Yeah, this is the ones that have points. And he's got a lot of the legacy stuff too.
Yeah. Because it took that many years to do it. Some of those are going to be from legacy anyway.
Yeah. 3,314 achievements for a tally of 29,210 points. I've got 24,000 points, so this guy has a bit more than me.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 1,300.
1,300 or 13,000?
1,300, I think. There's no way I'm close to well, maybe it's the achievements might be 1,300. I don't know about the points. It's not near this guy. I've been banging away for a while on this too, so it's not an insignificant number. You can't. I haven't put that much time into it.
Yeah. I honestly haven't put any serious time into it since MOP.
Now you're making me look it up on my armory.
Yeah. Like Warlords, I didn't do a whole lot in terms of achievement hunting. I did a little bit, but not real hardcore, get everything. And then this expansion, I just haven't even tried. Because I was already an expansion behind. But at the end of Mists of Pandaria, with the exception of the PvP achievements, I was done. That's all I needed with PvP achievements.
But yet now you're behind again because if you don't pick up all the achievements for the new expansion,
yeah,
you're not on pace with the curve. The amount of time to stay modern with those achievements over the last 6 years is a lot. That's a lot.
It depends. Some things will take a little while. Some things won't. Depending on what the achievement is in the group that you're in. Like the raid achievements, heck, we got one on accident on Mythic.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Like we killed a Mythic boss, a one shot actually, and we're a heroic team. We dabble in Mythics.
Yeah.
But
we dabbled the hell out of that one.
Yeah, we one shot it. And then we got an achievement, and we're like, what was that? And we didn't even know how we got it.
I mean, I've tried to do it with my other team, like on normal. But just the combination of the way we were doing the Mythic fight lent itself to give us the opportunity to get the achievement, although no one was even remotely trying to. Not easy. Not easy.
Some of them are, like the Mythic difficulty dungeons is where the achievements are. Some of them are in heroic and normal, very few, but most of them are in Mythic now. So you got to do them on Mythic difficulty. Then you got to find 4 other people willing to do the achievement and possibly wipe if you don't get it, and keep doing it over and over. Like I remember back in Wrath, there was a group of us, and there was a couple achievements that no, actually this was Kata because it was that Tolvir one. The wind dude at the end. I remember doing that. Yes. We did that for a while because one guy kept screwing up. But
I did check. I have 13,745. Hey. So, I mean, it's no 29. What does the other guy, 29? Like, more than double me. And I'm not slacking. 1,500 of two. I've got half, a little more than half of the available achievements. Yeah. And I'm not checking them off the list like that either, man.
Yeah, so someone in chat, Howland, again, brought up a point. Do we know if he got them all in one tune or account bound? Because a while back someone bought accounts that had achievements. The article that I see did not say all on one tune, but at the same time...
You can't get them all in one tune because some are Horde and some of them are Alliance, right?
Well, yeah, there's double agent and stuff like that, so there's leveling to max on other characters and stuff like that. But in terms of like all the dungeon achievements in PvP, I would imagine most of them, from what it's saying, are on his main, which is a mage, of which he has 7.
Yeah, because you have to for some of those PvPs, because one is a requirement of killing 250,000 enemy players,
and that is on one character. That's not
on a single character.
That is not a count. So, much to my distress.
I don't know whether once you have the achievement, it's account bound, but at least acquiring it and the first part is one character.
The only once you get an achievement, you have the achievement account bound, unless it is stated otherwise. Things like the meta achievements, like the raid achievements where you get mounts.
I love this. There's a quote in here. Sometimes Blizzard creates achievements that just seem cruel, like having to win a bunch of PvP pet battles. They should at least give you a shirt in game that says, I had to win 5,000 PvP pet battles and all I got was 10 achievement points. You know, like that one's pretty funny.
Yeah. But getting back to what I was saying, like I'll use the ICC dungeon, the raid.
Mm-hmm.
You could do them all. You could split it up on any number of characters, but once you had an achievement as part of the meta, you had that achievement. So, but the meta was, was what it was. Now this is now that it's account bound. Back in the day, it was per tune. So what it is if there's a progress bar, like if you have to kill 100 goblins, well, screw it, 100 gnomes. No one likes gnomes anyway. You have to kill 100 gnomes, and you do 87 on this character and 13 on this other character. You don't get it, because that kind of thing isn't shared. It's the achievement. Once you have the achievement itself, it is account bound, unless it is stated otherwise. Like the Mage Tower,
right?
The achievement for those are per tune, so you don't get credit for the other ones. Which, by the way, I got my Havoc Demon Hunter Flame Glaives this week.
Oh, congrats! Good job.
It only took me like 23 attempts, because 1, I suck at Demon Hunter, and 2, not nearly as geared as my Paladin.
So you're asking what this guy's name is in chat here, and the Xirev, Xirev, Blood Elf Mage. So yeah, 900 days of game time, it says.
I'm making sure that's not his real name.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. So that's his Blood Elf Mage name, but it's in the article, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the other stuff in World of Warcraft is a lot of our friends are getting alpha access, although a lot of the people I know with B of A alpha aren't interested in doing it because even though it's fun to see the new stuff first, they just don't feel like doing the quests twice.
Well, okay, so here's my look at getting an alpha access and stuff like that. It's great. It's also alpha, which means some stuff is going to stay, some stuff is going to change.
Yeah. Yep.
But, if you don't want to do the questing twice, you're not going to have an alt. So, I mean, and we're months and months away. Like, we're looking at 4, 5, 6 months from now. At
That's
least.
really a good thing.
So, I mean, you got a little bit. I would like to get in there and get a group and see some dungeons, get a feel for it. But I also...
Sorry, Alan made me laugh.
Yeah. I don't like to do the quest twice. Says random person with 12 alts. Yeah. I've got a few alts. Most of them got leveled through invasion, so I can say that and still be right. But in terms of alpha, I got into it a while back. I've logged into it 3 times total.
Okay.
I streamed it the first time, and I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to test things, I want to see stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil stuff. But at the same time, whenever Wildhead posts something, I'm looking at it, so I'm still spoiling myself anyway. So I think it's just more of I'm worried that if I get in, when Wildhead does it, there's no order at all. So you don't know what's where, you don't know the actual story. You're just getting this you're getting this chapter, but you don't know if it's chapter 4 or chapter 37. But if you play the alpha, you start at this starting area, and then you go through. So you're getting a little bit more of the story in the right order.
The part that would interest me the most would probably be raid testing. It's fun to have the success of reading someone else's description of the fight and executing the strategy they present. But, I mean, part of that would be fun to be the first people in there, take a couple pulls and say, what the hell just happened? And then plot out the strategy that other people will use later and execute to that. That would be fun.
Yeah, and also, nearly every add-on is broken for the alpha.
Yes.
So you are literally 100% UI default. You can change what Blizzard lets you change, sizes and stuff, and that's about it. But there's no DBM, there's no bigwigs, there's no UI enhancers of any kind, there's no LVUI for those of you who listen to it.
See, that appeals to me, though, because I use as few add-ons as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I've made no secret. I've told you this. I've told the raid this. My UI is default with one exception. It's a HUD. It's Ice HUD, and it basically all it does is give me a bar on the left, which is green, my health, number and percentage, my mana, number and percentage, and then outside of it, my target health, and if it's something with mana or whatever, it has its mana, energy, whatever. And it gives me the difference. So I can actually keep track without looking up in the top left corner, because I don't want to move everything around. Because everything is where I'm used to it being. So whenever I get stuck with default UI, because all the add-ons are broke, I'm not as screwed as someone who's like, oh my god, it's not LVUI, I cannot go.
Yep.
Yeah. Dungeons and raid testing, I would like. I don't have the drive for that whole raid first world first anymore.
No way. Yeah.
Back in Wrath, I started to get that drive. I was never good enough, nor on a team that could do it. But I was like, that would be fun for one raid tier.
Yep.
And then
that's about it.
I don't think I could do it past that because I've seen what it is. It's like, yeah, we wiped on this boss 300 plus times in 2 days.
The war chest you have to have for the materials and it's all very daunting.
Okay, so you have the flasks, which last an hour no matter what. Potions. You have to use potions every time.
Yep.
Runes, whatever they're being called at the time. Mm-hmm. Unless you have the infinite one, and that's still 40k gold. But the potions are probably going to be the biggest spender. Repair bills are probably number 2. 300 something pulls in 2 days, which is not uncommon for some of these raid first teams. I'm gonna
that stings.
That out. Like I said, maybe it would be fun for one tier.
the concept is fun. What it entails.
Yeah.
Is,
I mean, if you are awake, if
I have
you're
a
not
life.
working. Yeah. Well, I almost have a life, sort of ish.
you have enough of a life that it pretty much
I have
excludes you
enough.
from
I have enough outside responsibilities that I can't do it. Like, I'm helping family members out because of aforementioned hospital stuff, surgeries and stuff. I'm helping my mom out with her puppies because she has to work and she doesn't want to leave them locked up for 8 to 10 hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't put the time and effort into World First. Plus, I like playing alts. I don't like questing all the way through all the zones multiple times. But once I'm at max level, I'm fine with, I'll do Suramar multiple times because look at all that freaking AP that's sitting right there.
AP is a good reason.
Yeah,
Other than that,
it's like, go do Suramar.
Snail's pace.
Go do Suramar. There's your 75 points.
Yep.
Just about. I think it's actually like 40 or 50 points just from doing Suramar.
With the max artifact knowledge, yes, it does work.
Yeah, you just go there when you're max level, which is when you go there anyway. You go in and boom, you're like at 50. Probably a little more than that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's a lot.
What?
Balance of Power is another one. Holy crap.
Yep. Balance of Power is a good one.
Yeah, do that now. Do Suramar, Balance of Power, that's it. Boom. 75. Cake.
Should be.
Yeah. But yeah. Fun times. But that's really news-wise all we've got. It's not a big news week this week outside of, player banned for being toxic. Well, good.
Deservedly so.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're toxic, stop it. If you're not going to stop it, get out. Thank you, Blizz.
Yeah.
So, I believe that would be a show. Just over an hour, too. Holy crap.
I know. That's nice.
I know. It doesn't happen often. Usually it's like an hour and a half, but light news week and, a little bit of rambling.
Well, it's a feature and a benefit.
It's one of those things that we've been doing since episode 1. Well, actually, episode 0.
Ramble on.
You can find it. Is it out there?
Des likes the rambling because we make her feel better about herself. She's like, I'm not nearly as bad as those two yahoos.
I miss Des. I wanted to come back to raiding because then I'd have competition more regularly for my DPS meter. Unlike other people. You okay? You got
I'm good.
trying to bite your shoulder?
There's a finger over there.
All right, well, I guess that's a show. So, Galv, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Shout out to Fire Department for the mythic blowout of Worldbreaker. Holy crap. That was awesome. Des, of course you can come raid with us. I just think that in particular lately, a lot of players in my sphere have been really nice. Real life, in game, keep making the community a positive place. I think that's really important. Not just to browbeat the toxic guys and gals, but keep supporting each other. Make it a fun time and a positive place for everyone. I appreciate that. How about you, Draven?
I'm going to give my shout out to... Where did it go? Dang it, it's not showing up. There it is. I'm going to give my shout out to the person who created this thing in-game. You'll see it here in a second, Gav.
I await with bated breath.
Because a lot of people are like, that's Nightmare Fuel. I'm like, oh, that's
cool.
I think this looks really cool. Blizzard, I want this as the playable race if Horde get the Volpera. Or at
Wow.
least make it an option for undead.
That's like something that your warlock / Death Knight should be able to pull out of the ground.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's funny. But in seriousness, my shout out, I'm going to give my shout out this week to Des because she showed up in chat. I know she's been thinking about us. And we've been thinking about you too, Des. You come up in conversation a lot. And we still miss Norman.
Storm and Norman.
Yeah. The puller of bosses. We don't have anyone that does that as often anymore. I mean, I'm glad for that part, but I still miss Norman.
Well, Norman's like, I'm just going to take this boss myself, you guys.
Yeah.
Just hang back.
And to be fair to Norman, it was usually trash that he was pulling and not the bosses.
That's true.
Sometimes Norman just gets a little eager and pops off a little too soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, there's shout out. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you on the internet, which is the important phrase of that particular statement, where would someone do that?
The internet is a good place to get a hold of me. You can find me on, let's see, Twitter is Galvanid Online. You got Twitch, which is where I do a lot of my public stuff. www.twitch.tv/Galvanid. And if you're looking for me on Xbox, because I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, same thing, Galvanid. If you're on Airy Peak or Thunderlord, Galvanid. And that's a pretty good summary, Galvanid. How about you, Draven? How do people get a hold of you when they want to?
With a whole lot of money. I'm kidding.
Dollar bills.
Yeah, show me them dollars. No. If you want to get a hold of me on the internet, best way is at Draven Dresden over on Twitter. This week is going to be interesting. I actually have plans to not be on the computer some nights.
Grats.
I know. I'm going to go see Ready Player One Thursday. So.
Yes, that sounds like a good one coming up.
3D.
Infinity Wars trailer. Did you see the Deadpool 2 trailer?
I did, and the Avengers trailer, and yeah.
It's a good year for movies. It's a very good year for movies.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how many of these I'm going to go, because not only do I have to pay like $15 per ticket, which is like almost twice what it used to be when I worked at a theater. I got to drive an hour each direction to a good movie theater. So, like, I could go to the crap one that's only half an hour away, but it's crap. I don't want to go there. So I'm going to drive further and go see the good theater with the good sound, the good seats.
Yeah, Des has us both beat.
18 hours, good lord.
She has to drive 18 hours one way uphill in the snow.
Okay, so Des is weird because she lives at the North Pole.
Yep.
But she has yet to meet Santa. Because if she had, he has his own theater. Like, he gets his own everything. He has access to everything all at once. So if she was smart, she'd go meet him and be like, hey, how you doing? Can I use your movie theater? But no. She'd rather drive the 18 hours. So, Des, shame on you. Kidding. That would suck. Elf seats, yeah. I guess. Oh, you could take the Mrs. Claus seat. Oh yeah. But yeah.
Shame.
And on that note, I think that's going to be a show. Do you have any last words for the show, Galv?
All yours this week.
Say hi to Santa.